Okay, so let's jump right in. This deep dive, it's really tailored for you, drawing from the sources you've shared, and it gets right to the heart of our digital lives, doesn't it?
It really
I
does.
mean, think about almost anything you do online, visiting a website, maybe shopping, even just scrolling social media.
Uh-huh.
Our source material starts off by highlighting just well, how common it is to run into these third-party providers,
Yeah.
often without us even, realizing it.
Yeah, exactly. The source points out these providers are deeply embedded. They're powering essential stuff like analytics, figuring out site traffic,
Right.
serving you those personalized ads, handling payments. They definitely bring convenience, no doubt. They enable a lot of the functions we just expect now.
And this is where the source really opened my eyes.
Hmm.
It doesn't just stop at the convenience factor. It dives pretty deep into the significant privacy and, well, security concerns that come with kind of tagging in all these third parties.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here, according to the source, is how this whole setup fundamentally changes the data landscape. These providers, they often collect a surprising amount of your data.
Like what kind of data?
Well, everything from your browsing habits, for those targeted ads, to very specific interactions on a site just for their analytics.
Okay.
And the source makes it really clear. While this data helps them optimize their services, it dramatically increases the risk to your privacy.
How so?
Because if they get breached, if they have a data leak, information about you, potentially sensitive stuff, could get exposed, even if the main website you were visiting was perfectly safe and secure itself.
Wow, okay. So it's less about the security of the site I think I'm on
Right.
and more about all these other companies they've partnered with.
Precisely. And the source actually goes further. It
Yeah.
explains it's not just data collection and, potential leaks. It's also about security vulnerabilities,
Hmm.
just inherent in how interconnected everything is. Many websites rely heavily on third-party scripts, plugins, things that often run directly in your browser.
Ah, you mean like those little bits of code from another company running right there on the page I'm looking at?
Exactly that. And the source raises a really important flag here. If there are weak points, vulnerabilities in those specific third-party integrations,
Uh-huh.
they become targets.
Mm.
Hackers can exploit these spots for attacks like cross-site scripting.
Which is like injecting bad code through that third party onto a site I trust.
Yeah, essentially. Or data interception, where that third party's connection might let someone eavesdrop on information you're sending or receiving from the main site. Think login details, maybe financial info.
Yikes.
Potentially at risk through a kind of backdoor you didn't even know existed.
Okay, that definitely sharpens the focus on the risk. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, just trying to, browse the web safely? Thankfully, the source material doesn't just leave us with the problems. It does outline some concrete steps.
It does, yeah. The source really emphasizes being proactive. A key step it mentions is actually reading privacy policies.
Oh, the long text.
Well, yeah, but specifically looking for how third parties are mentioned, understanding what data they collect, how they use it. The source also points to using privacy-focused tools. Things like browser extensions designed to limit third-party tracking, maybe block unwanted scripts. It's about regaining some control.
Simple actions, but they could make a difference in limiting exposure. What about, like, securing our actual accounts?
Right. The source stresses the critical importance of two-factor authentication, 2FA, enabling that wherever you possibly can. It adds that vital extra layer beyond just your password.
Makes sense.
And drawing from the source again, regularly auditing the third-party apps you've given access to your accounts, that's essential. It suggests removing any connections you don't need anymore or, frankly, don't even recognize. Each one is another potential entry point.
That's a really good point. It's so easy to just click allow sometimes and forget about it. Okay, so let's bring this back for you, the listener. This deep dive into your source material really shows that while these third-party providers add a lot of convenience, a lot of functionality,
Yeah.
they fundamentally change the game for privacy and security
Mm-hmm.
in ways maybe many of us don't fully grasp.
And looking at the bigger picture the source presents, it makes it clear. Staying informed, about how your data is handled both by the sites you visit and all the third parties they bring in, plus consistently taking those proactive steps. That's just essential now for a safer online experience.
Yeah.
The source definitely encourages prioritizing platforms that are good on data protection themselves, but also transparent about who else they're working with.
It really does shift some of the responsibility onto us, the users. Requires more awareness, more action.
Yeah. So given how deeply embedded these third parties are and the sort of constant potential for risk the source highlights, here's something to think about. Does staying safe online today mean less about finding that one perfectly secure website and maybe more about adopting a mindset like a continuous awareness, continuous action across all your online interactions in this super connected world? Something to mull over, perhaps.